Continuing what we did in the last class, we shall take up the person in conjugation. We were discussing third person, singular, neuter gender, that is adu, and this will have adu as the personal marker in a conjugation. The plural of third person neuter gender will be avai or avaigal, and this indicates double plural. Avai itself is a plural, and you add the plural suffix and make it avaigal. So, for singular adu, the personal suffix was adu. For plural, it will be ana, na, ana. Now, I would like to get back to the beginning. A finite verb has three components, that is the verb plus the tense marker plus the personal marker. We are discussing the present tense now, and the tense marker here is kiru. We have been making use of this kiru all through. There is one more tense marker in the present tense. It is kindru. This is kiru and this is kindru. One letter in between is added. Kindru. Actually, there is no difference between these two markers, except this has a nasal sound in between two hard sounds. You must be wondering why I have introduced this now. We need it now. That is, for ana, that is third person neuter gender plural, they use this kindru. Now, the question arises, when there is actually no difference between these two terms, that is kiru and kindru, why should we have this kindru for third person neuter gender plural? This is to rhyme with this na of the person marker. Otherwise, what happens? Avaigal, I will replace it with some other noun. Aadugal, let us say odu, odu is to run. Odu, kiru, ana. Put together, this should be Odugirana. Somehow, the earlier grammarians felt that this lacked something, and it will be better if kindru is added here. So you add kindru instead of kiru and it becomes ஓடுகின்றன. ஓடுகின்றன. ஆடுகள் ஓடுகின்றன. The goats run. We shall make use of this opportunity and learn a few more verbs. நாய்கள். You know what நாய் is? A dog. நாய்கள், what do? They bark. குறை is to bark. Plus கின்று and for third person neuter plural ana. You must remember that set of words or verbs which get an extra consonant in between. So it will be ku, rai, ik, ki, in, ra, na. நாய்கள் குரைக்கின்றன. The dogs bark. You see, this kindru goes right with ana. It sounds better. So, for third person plural, neuter gender, kindru is added as the present tense marker in all the verbs. Now you may raise a question, can this be added to other persons too? You know this, non first person singular. We have already seen all these forms, so I am not repeating the rules. நான் படிக்கிறேன், I read. நான் படிக்கிறேன், I read. I use kindru here. நான் படிக்கின்றேன், nothing goes wrong. It sounds all right. There is no change in the meaning. So, this kindru can be added to all the subjects. நீ படிக்கின்றாய். Formerly we saw படிக்கிறாய். Now I have made use of kindru instead of kiru and this is படிக்கின்றாய். நீ படிக்கின்றாய். So also you know what is this? Our. Our is third person singular and what singular? Honorific singular. Our எழுதுகின்றார். So for padi it will be படிக்கின்றார். I am introducing another verb. எழுதுகின்றார். Let us make use of this verb, nada. Nada is to walk. அவர் நடக்கின்றார். Formerly it was nadakkirar, now it is nadakkinrar. That is to say, kiru and kindru, kiru and kindru are the tense markers for the present tense. Actually, there is no difference between these two. For third person neutral gender plural or third person plural, kindru is added for an onomatopic effect, for a rhythmic sound. Otherwise, there is no difference between these two. So, kiru and kindru can be added to any verb in the present tense. Any doubt? You must be able to remember the personal markers of all these. What will be the personal marker for நீங்கள்? First of all, you must remember to what number does it belong. That is, whether it is second person or first person or third person. This is second person and naturally it will be ஈர்கள். So, if you remember these, the conjugation will be very easy to manage. By way of exercise, I shall have a few more sentences with new verbs. ஆறு is river. பாய்கிறது flows. ஆறு பாய்கிறது. ஆறு ஓடுகிறது. ஆறு ஓடுகிறது. Here it will mean run. பாய் to flow. ஆறு பாய்கிறது. மழை rain. பெய்கிறது பெய் to pour down. மழை பெய்கிறது. The rain pours down. So, we have learnt a couple of verbs in the exercise. Have you come across this word? மாணவன். மாணவன் is a student. So, மாணவன் will naturally be is the third person. Since he is a student, he must be a human being. So, singular. And because of this, you can easily find out it is masculine. மாணவன். This letter gives you the clue as to the gender. Now, you want to call him respectfully, mention him with some respect. What will you do? This is just an exercise, remember that. மாணவர். And what will be the plural? You add kal. Manavargal. Manavargal, students. What do they do? The students learn. We did learn a word for reading, that is kal. Kal is to read or to study. How will you conjugate this word? And what will be the personal suffix? For Manavargal, this third person, plural, human beings. So, naturally, what is it? And this undergoes a change. Remember, for kal and nil and will, there is a change. So, if you have it elongated, it sounds all right. Manavargal karkirargal. I am doing this exercise from your point of view. For our, it was or. For argal, manavargal, it will be argal. So, manavargal karkirargal. Manavargal karkirargal. Suppose you want to replace this word. What will be the other word? Padi. Manavargal padikirargal. In continuing this conjugation, we have to take into consideration the verb, the root of a verb, the tense marker, and the personal suffix or personal marker. The root of the verb will give you an idea whether it is a transitive verb or an intransitive one. What is the difference between the transitive and intransitive ones? You know that a transitive verb must have an object. A transitive verb must have an object. Let us have an example. You know the rhyme Jack and Jill, so I am making use of it. Jack sees Jill. This is a finite verb and see is a transitive verb. So, it must have an object. Jill is the object of the verb sees, of which the subject is Jack. Now, I bring Jill here and take Jack there. What happens? Jill sees Jack. Then Jill becomes subject and Jack becomes the object. That is to say, the position of a noun in a sentence, in an English sentence, decides whether that particular noun is the subject or the object. In Indian languages, the structure as we saw, the syntax is to have the subject, object and then the verb. So, to differentiate between the subject and the object gets case markers. It is called a case marker or a case symbol the object gets a case marker or a case symbol added so that you can differentiate between these two nouns, the subject and object. In this syntax, because of the case marker, whether the object is put here or elsewhere, the meaning does not get changed. So, we have to take up the cases now and see what they are. You have the nominative case, accusative case, instrumental case, dative case, ablative case, possessive or genitive case or ablative, locative case and then the vocative case in English. So, also in Tamil we have 8 cases and each case has a case marker separately. You know the word. I start with the simplest word possible. I want to make it an object of a verb. So, what should I do? I must put a case marker here and the case marker has to be added to this and it has to undergo that particular change. Here the case marker for the accusative case is I. The case marker for the accusative case is I. So, naturally I put I here. I add I to this pronoun. I add this I, that is the case marker of accusative case, with a pronoun. Naturally, the combination will be avanai. Avan, a noun in the nominative case, becomes avanai in the accusative case because of this case marker I. Can you read this sentence? It is a complete sentence. Non avanai adikireen. It is a perfect sentence with a subject non and the verb adikireen and the object avanai. Non is the subject. So, naturally, yen is the person marker here. Adi is to beat. Nan avanai adikireen, I beat him. This is in the present tense because of the kiru. Adi is the root meaning to beat. Yen personal marker indicating first person singular. Kiru is the present tense marker. Adikireen, nan adikireen. You raise a question, whom? Yarai. and avanai. Naan avanai adikkiren. It's a perfect, complete sentence. I bring it here. Avanai naan adikkiren. The sense is not disturbed at all. The subject remains the subject and the object remains the object and the verb continues to be the same. So, the case marker always decides the position of a noun, whether it is a subject or an object. Let us continue this in the next class, and we will have a few more examples with this case marker I.